What's going on, beautiful people? Happy Monday. Thank you so much for joining us. It is a pleasure being back here with you guys. It's been 2 weeks, and wow, what an amazing past 2 weeks. I officially got married. For those of you that didn't know that, so I have my beautiful bride over here, and we're actually going to be joining in together on this call. And this is a very special call for me, guys. So by the way, if you are joining us and this is your first time, welcome to Wave Makers. Our community is a community committed to creating positive waves of change for ourselves, our environment, and the world. So on tonight's call, we are going to be covering Mindset Monday, anything and everything that's connected to the human mind and how we can improve it, okay? Because if we can improve our mind, we can improve our life. So with that said, the topic of tonight is very, very special. I hope you guys have pen and paper. Whether you have a business, whether you're working for yourself, whether you have a job, if you have any life goal, which you do, otherwise you wouldn't be here, then this call is going to be very valuable to you. Okay, and this is a topic, so it's on how to keep the score. How to keep the score. And the reason that I say this is very important is because if we are not keeping the score, if we don't know where we're at, we won't know if we're making progress or not. Okay, so the first speaker tonight is going to be my brother Michael Batanti, and he's going to be covering identifying deliverables, tithing, creating milestones for yourself, and properly rewarding yourself. Very, very important. I'm excited to take notes. And then after that, we're going to be having a few other very great things that we're going to cover as well. So with that being said, Michael, my brother, come on in, man. I'm excited to learn from you. Bring the heat for the family. Everyone is eager to learn from you. Passing the mic to you right now, my brother.
I love it. I appreciate it. My man definitely just got back from his honeymoon. I know you felt that energy. My man's excited to be back. But yeah, let's get right into it. If you got pen and paper, it just makes sense to write it down, right? We forget 80 to 90% of what we don't write down. So let's talk about it, right? How do we properly keep score? For starters, what game are we playing? Write that down. What game am I even playing? And you're going to hear me say it now, and you're going to hear me say it again and again and again and again. And you're going to be like, man, that is so cliche, Mike, to talk about the fact that 80% of getting where you want to be is knowing where you want to be, right? 80% of keeping score of the game is knowing what game we're playing and how the scoring actually takes place, right? So what's the goal? Right? Write this word down in all caps, deliverables. And I want you to be very specific in regards to the way that we view that word, deliverables, right? Think about it. Who are my Amazon warriors? I order at least 4 things from Amazon a week. Raise your hand if you order from Amazon all the time, right? How do we know when something has been delivered? We have it, right? So there's a very serious conversation that you need to have with yourself in regards to what a deliverable actually is. It's not, I had a great idea and I wrote it on the whiteboard. It's not, man, on Monday I was super fired up and I started to work on that thing that I needed to get done. And it's definitely not, yo, I got everything written down and it looks so pretty. And I say to myself, this. That is all a part of the mindset training, ladies and gentlemen. But a deliverable is you actually following through and making some stuff happen. That's what a deliverable is. It's something that needs to get done and will get done and is getting done and is done, right? Write this down. Well done is much better than well said. I really, and I say this with love, I really don't care about how good things sound when you say them to me. That piques my interest. It grabs my attention. But I am so much more focused on what you do. As a Christian, I am so much more focused on what you do than what you say. And so is God, right? And guess what? For my business builders, your team is so much more paying attention to what you're doing than what you're saying, whether you believe it or not. And guess what? Your partner in your relationship is so much more valuing the things that you do than the things that you say. Even if their love language is words of affirmation, they're still focusing on what you do way more than what you say. So it's important to understand what a deliverable actually is so that we can begin to identify what those deliverables are, right? And it's so important to write things down with intent to act. Don't write them down. Don't be a wantrepreneur. Don't be that person who literally comes up with all of these great ideas and all of these great marketing tactics, and then we blink and it's 6 months and you are literally standing in the same spot that you were when you had that light bulb moment, right? Write this book down, The 5-Second Rule, Mel Robbins. Get it on Audible, get it on paperback. It is going to change your world. Mel Robbins trains millionaires and talks about the fact that you have 5 seconds to take action on the things that pop up in your head before your limiting beliefs and your lesser self convinces you that it's not a good idea. The most authentic and true version of yourself, boom, in 5 seconds will dwindle away if you don't take action. Right? When you open up your eyes in the morning, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, get your feet on the ground, right? When you think about making that call that you've been avoiding, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, press send. And it's going to change everything that you do, right? So when I'm talking about deliverables, I'm talking about things that have the end goal in mind. This is the dollar amount. This is the new personal enrollment amount. This week, this month, right? This is the thing that I always wanted, right? These, right? I wanted them. This was the deliverable, right? And once you grab the deliverable, you can then create milestones, right? Write that word down, milestones. We do not jump across the ocean. Right? We do not travel from this place to that place, right? We hit this place, this place, this place, this place, this place, and they all need to have their own draw to them, right? Your milestones need to be celebrated. I am somebody who is literally talking to myself right now that I need to begin to appreciate the milestones way more than I do. Right? Write this down. We need to marry the process and divorce the result. You know what the process involves? Your milestones. And it's all about the baby steps, small, consistent steps on a daily basis, right? Produce results. Or as Nikki T would say, laser focused, produce monstrous results, right? But it's so important to have milestones, right? And it's very simple. A lot of it, this is what math is used for. God gave us math to further understand things so that we can further understand him, right? And this is where math comes in. Is like, what do the numbers look like? Take your annual income that you want and break it down into a monthly number. How do we do that? Take the number and divide it by 12. It's very, very simple. And then divide that number by 4, right? Because there's 4 weeks in a month. And you find yourself taking this monstrous number and making it into something that's a little bit more digestible, a milestone. Right? And if I can focus on that weekly milestone, I blink, 12 months have gone by, and I'm either close or I'm at it or I'm past it, that annual number. And you can literally do this with anything. Here's one thing that I'm learning. If it makes sense on paper, baby girl, it makes sense. If it makes sense on paper, it makes sense. One of the most valuable lessons I've ever learned in my entire life is I need to think on paper. I need to learn how to think on paper. Because if you don't, your wild imagination and your wild creativity is going to be wasted in clutter because you have no idea how to put it down and make it make sense on paper so that you can begin to take actions. You can begin to make milestones and accomplish milestones to achieve your deliverable. Welcome to the party. Right? So, end goal in mind. That's the deliverable. That's what we need to attain. And we're not going to stop until the box from Amazon is in our hand. That is what deliverable means. We're going to build milestones that are easily digestible so that we can take this in steps and increments to get to where we're going, right? Here's one thing about life. How are you rewarding yourself? If you do not learn how to reward yourself, and look, I wish Hunter Mack was on this call because that kid watches me reward myself like nobody else, right?
He's here.
Good. Perfect. That kid watches me reward myself like nobody's business. I go out, I get appetizers, bring 2 of them, right? You throw the entree down, and I can't decide between the 3 desserts. So guess what? I'm getting all 3. I'm going to take a bite of each. I'll probably spend a little bit more time on the key lime pie. I'm going to sign the bill, and I'm going to call it today. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get back to work. And I have no qualms about it, right? There are times where I go through a phase where like, yo, Mikey's getting a massage like 2-3 times a month because I work and I hustle. Some of you have gone the entire year without rewarding yourself. So stop it. Be an ally, right? You want to complain to me about your boss not acknowledging your good works, but you don't even acknowledge your good works. Why would your boss acknowledge your good works? Right? You don't even acknowledge how hard you work. Why would other people acknowledge how hard you work? Nobody loves me more than me. Right? And I show myself that because it's important to pay yourself first. Now, how you do that? There's a way to do it properly, and there's a way to absolutely not do it properly, right? We're not sitting here blowing money. So again, make it make sense on paper. Make it make sense with numbers. Make it make sense with math, right? Here's another trick that will absolutely change your world. Start working in percentages, not dollars. Write that down. I need to start working with percentages and not dollars. Right? Here's why. The Bible, 20 different times in the Bible, it talks about tithing, right? The one that I personally have grabbed a hold of, right, is a blend between Abraham and Jesus. Abraham talks about a tenth, right? He gave a tenth in Genesis. It talks about Abraham tithing a tenth, right? And Jesus talks about tithe in secret, right? This isn't a public thing. This isn't something that you're blasting out. Look at me, tithing. Look at how great I am, tithing, right? So I blend the two. I take 10% of what I make, right? And me personally, I've just been sending Bibles to people who don't have Bibles. That's how I've been tithing, just sending Bibles to people, right? But it's based off a percentage. I know that if I make this much this week, and 10% of that, I know how many Bibles I can dish out, and I should dish out, and I'm actively seeking those people that I can send Bibles out to, right? But what does it look like for you, right? I'm taking 30% for taxes, right? Notice I'm not taking $1,000 for taxes. I'm taking 30% and I'm putting it away for taxes, right? I'm taking 30% and I'm putting it away for my investment portfolio. I'm taking 10%, I'm tithing, I'm taking 10%. This is a conversation for Gabriel and your financial house, but this is just what I do. And I take 10%, and you know what Michael Battanti does with 10%? I treat myself, right? Who are my Parks and Rec fans? Treat yourself. Why not? I literally could die right now. Don't be that person who dies and never gave themselves any reward. right? It's, for me personally, it's what creates sustainability in my work. It's why I can continue to hustle so hard, is because I'm constantly rewarding myself along the way, right? The reason why I can constantly focus is because I'm not focused on the deliverable. I'm not focused on the result. I'm focused on the milestone. And those milestones are broken down into daily, weekly, monthly milestones that lead me to a fruitful year, that lead me to a fruitful decade, that lead me to a fruitful life, right? So that's what I got for you guys. Identify the end goal, the deliverables, or you will continue to run around aimlessly wandering in maybe the right direction, maybe the wrong direction. We don't know, because you don't even know which direction you're going, right? Create those milestones that are so easily digestible for you to consume. It's not $1 million, right? It's not 6 figures. It's not $100,000. It's $6,800 a month, $833 a month, right? And it's not even that a month. It's whatever it is a week, $1,300 a week, right? And it becomes doable. It becomes digestible. And then focus on your percentages. Those are, as I'm saying this, if you took anything from what I just vomited onto you, I want you to take this. I need to learn how to think on paper, and I need to start working in percentages, not dollars. I love you. Drop a 22. If you got something, I only need one of you to feel like I did okay tonight. Boom, Gabriel. I did okay tonight. I love you, Nikki T. I'll pass it back to you.
Amazing, brother. Amazing. I love that. I love the concept of deliverables. I think it's very, very powerful. And it goes hand in hand with what we're going to speak about. So I'm grateful that you brought that up, as well as the milestones. I think that's huge. And the percentages, I know in business, it is so easy, and it's you can track dollars, but at the same time, if you're tracking percentages, you're going to appreciate it much more sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, you can be making $5,000 a month in business for yourself, and you may not think that's a lot because you know where you're going. So you're not going to feel like you're really winning, when in reality, if you're thinking of the percentage, you might be winning in amazing ways. So I love that. Great concept. Great concept. So we're going to keep it going. It's all going to be in alignment and incongruency. But before we go in on a couple of the notes that we have here, I just want to ask you guys a question, okay? And drop a 3 in the chat if you know what I'm talking about, okay? Have you ever set a goal for yourself in business, in life, in your physical appearance, whatever that is, a goal that you had that you're working towards, and 3 months went by, or 6 months went by, or even a year went by, and then you remembered that you had that goal, and you're like, oh my gosh, what happened? I don't even know. I forgot about it. I literally forgot about my own goal.
The New Year's resolutions that just seem to disappear in March.
Yeah, that one is a classic, right? But like, even for those of us that are like, we're beyond that New Year's resolution thing. We actually write our goals down, right? Regularly. Even then, can you guys relate with me? If you 3 months went by and you're like, oh my gosh, like, forgot about it completely, or I don't even know what to do with it. Like, you took some time to think about all of it, and then you realize you don't even know where to start. Can you guys relate? Drop a 3. The reason why, and I'm going to tell you, I've been there. So the first about 3 years of my business, and it's been really past the last 5 to 6 months is when I actually begin to apply what I was learning when it came to keeping the score. And, I think a lot of us know about it, but I'm going to tell you right now, 95% of us are not going to do a thing with it. That's just the reality of it. Okay, so I encourage you to be that 5% that does something with this information tonight. And here's my biggest tip and reminder that I want you to leave with. So go ahead and write it down so we don't forget it, right? And we can go over all the other good things that we have here. You must keep the score. I must keep the score. Otherwise, I will lose the game, which goes hand in hand with what Mike said. I must keep the score. Otherwise, I will lose the game.
And it's impossible to keep the score up here. We all think we're so good at remembering things, until we don't remember them. And then it's like, poof, it's gone. And you just have to start over. When in reality, you were making progress. You just don't know because you can't see it. And that kind of goes back to what Mike said about learn how to think on paper. That is so huge.
Yeah, it's big. It really is. So that's the first thing, the first takeaway here, right? We must keep the score. So, you know, I want to actually go right into what we do weekly here that really helps us a lot. For so many reasons, not only to keeping the score is not only going to give you a basis to measure your business, the progress in your business, right? Because progress equals happiness. Progress equals happiness. So keeping the score is not only going to give you that, it's not only going to give you a basis so you can measure and see the progress that you're making on paper, which is going to help you in your business venture or your life goals that you have. When you're feeling down, you can look back and you can see and realize, wow, I'm actually making progress. Let's keep it going. Instead of forgetting to keep track of it, and then you lose that fire in you because you don't think you're making progress.
I was going to say, and it's easier to believe those automatic negative thoughts, the ants in your head, if you have nothing to show
100%.
for your progress. If you're just going by what you're remembering, you're going to forget, and those ants are going to get to you a lot easier than if you can have something tangible to go back and like look at and say, wow, it's been 5 months. I've actually gone from here to here, you know. Huge. Good job.
Absolutely. Spot on. And here's the second thing that's actually going to give you. As you keep progress and keep track of your business, your goals, it is going to give you the self-esteem that you're a winner. It's going to give you the self-esteem that you're a winner. Let me tell you right now, or how about this? Why don't you guys tell me? If you believe that you're not a winner, are you going to win or are you going to lose? If you think you're a winner, are you going to win or are you going to lose? If you truly believe that you're a winner because you're seeing the progress that you're making in your life and in your goals, are you going to win or are you going to lose? Write it down. Of course, right? Of course. How are you going to know if you're winning if you're not keeping track of it, though? Okay, so here's exactly what we do. You want to talk about that first? Okay. Okay, so here's exactly what we do every single week, and you can modify it. You can do whatever you like. This is just an idea that works for us. You can try it. You can improve it. You can tweak it and make it into whatever you wanted to make, okay? But here's something that we do that really works for us. Once a week, right? Once a week for us is every Sunday. We do a mastermind that usually lasts an hour to an hour and a half, okay? By the way, Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill, he talks about the power of a mastermind. It's all over every single book that we could think about, okay? So you need it. And it can be a mastermind with yourself, but it ideally with a running partner, business partner, and Napoleon Hill, close friend. Napoleon Hill talks about a marriage being the ultimate mastermind. So we got that down. So that's awesome. But finally. We didn't have it. We just got that, right? Yeah. But regardless of where you're at, you can do this. So here are the 5 things to go over every single mastermind session once a week, at least, that you have with yourself or with the person that you're working with. Number 1, your wins of the week, of the previous week. So you're reviewing your previous week of work, or, you know, whatever area that you're working towards in your life, really, right? 1, your wins. I did this well. I closed this business. I had this business partner that started working with me. I had this breakthrough in my business, or I had a breakthrough in my mental barrier.
Progress in a relationship.
In our relationship.
With a friend, with a family member.
Whatever that is.
It could be anything. Yeah.
Right. That's the first thing, the wins. Number 2, lessons. The lessons. What were some lessons that I had that were gifted to me this previous week? And usually that is in alignment with challenges that you faced, right? So you face some challenges. What is the lesson in that challenge or in that quote unquote problem that you faced? Okay.
Because remember, we don't lose, we win or we learn.
That's right.
So there should be a bunch of lessons, and there always are for us.
All right, 5 more minutes, guys, and then we're done. Okay. Stay here with us. This is going to be helpful. Number 3, short-term goals. So you're going to go over your goals again. You're going to write them down again. You can do this daily, but if you start it weekly and build a habit, wow, is it going to change your life? So your short-term goals in every area of life. What are some things that excite you that you want to accomplish in the next 30 to 90 to max 6 months? Okay. And then number 4, long-term goals. That's your end goal that you keep in mind, right? That you have to keep in front of you. And you can do it in whatever order you want to. You want to do the long-term goals first and then go to the short-term goals. That's great too. Whatever you prefer. Okay. Write them down. And I encourage you to allow your creativity to flow here. You know what I mean? Like, don't just like, okay, what do I want this, that. Okay, cool, let's move on. Like, actually take time to think about it and feel it and really imagine what it is that you want in your life in all areas. This is just going to give some great feelings and emotions with this whole process that you're doing of keeping a score.
I was going to say one thing, like at the beginning, that we had to grow from when we started this mastermind, because it's a habit. It's easy to say, yeah, I'm going to do a mastermind. I'm going to take this seriously. But once it comes time to do the mastermind, Sunday evenings, we're like, oh, let's just not, you know? And it's so easy to do that. But then you go back in that cycle of not keeping score. So one thing that we did was we put it on our calendar, and Google Calendar, and we have a reminder every single week, and we added each other so we can hold each other accountable, because we're not always going to feel like fired up to talk about life, because like you said, it's not just one of those things where like, oh yeah, this goal, or just put something up there like it's homework just to turn it in. Like, no, this is for you. This is for me. So if I don't do this for me, I'm failing us. You know what I mean? Because no one's going to step up and do this for us. This is our life. We get to create it. Such a beautiful way to look at life. We just got to show up for ourselves. So we set a reminder so we don't
absolutely
forget about
if
it.
you don't take time to do this for yourself, you're failing your future. I promise you, because there are lessons and wins and takeaways that you could be having right now, but unless you take time to do this, you will miss them. Promise. Okay. Could you guys give an example of a mastermind? A mastermind is a group of people. It could be yourself and God. It can be yourself and accountability partner. Ideally, I recommend another person, another human being that you get to speak with that holds you to high standards, and you're able to go over your goals together. You're able to do all these things together, right?
Like, look over your
power
life from
of a
like
mastermind.
a bigger perspective, not subjective, but objective. Like if you're looking at your life, down at your life, and you see that you want to be over there, you're just tracking the progress to get there.
Yep.
Which is really cool.
Yeah, there's another great, there you go. So there's another great people that you can look up online to learn more about a mastermind and different things that you could be doing in your mastermind. Okay. And then here's the last one, number 5, weekly reminders. Okay. A weekly reminder that you can write down a takeaway for the week that you could look back. Right. And I encourage you at the top, as you're writing this, get a notebook specifically for this week 1 from this day to this day. Right. And that's how you start your week at the top, and you're reviewing the previous week. Right. So last concept, and then we're done. Give me another 90 seconds here. Last concept, tracking your time. We've already spoken about this. This is not the first time that we're speaking about it. This is just a reminder, right? I know all of us already know this, but productivity versus activity. You know, if you know that you're not being productive, that's great. The worst thing that you could do to yourself is think that you're being productive when you're only being active. That is the worst place to be in business, when you have goals, whatever it is. You think you're making progress and you're being productive, but you're not. You're doing the wrong things. And we can do the wrong things for sure when it comes to business or our goals. So, you know, let's just, we got to be aware of that. And one thing that Eric Brown says a lot is make your schedule your boss, right? So it's scheduling, just like Haley said, it's scheduling the things that are important. And it's going to elevate you. It's going to elevate the people around you. And, you know, you should do it. You should definitely try that.
Because if not, you'll have days where you're like, wow, what day is it? And what did I do the past 3 days? Like, what's going on, you know? And that never feels good.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, and I was just going to give an example of a reminder we put. it says, stay at peace. All worries and emotions are temporary. So like the biggest takeaway from the past week, like what do I need to remember going into this next week? And that really helps because then it gets you in that mindset going into the week so you don't fall into the same patterns, the same lessons from the weeks prior.
That's right.
So.
And that's gold right there. Yeah. So as you can see, you know, that reminder is not a business reminder, you know, it's a life
for
reminder.
You. Yeah.
It's about you. It's about your life. And the last thing that I will say is every night you can review your weekly schedule, and you can write your top five critical tasks, and that could be a whole nother call, right? But write down at the night before your top 5 critical tasks for the next day that need to get accomplished. 3 of them are very, very important tasks. 1 of them should be a personal task for yourself, maybe something that you get to reward yourself with, like play soccer, go on a run, go on a walk, go to the pool, have lunch with someone, whatever that is. Just set yourself up to success. The goal here is to make continual wins, and as you win more, it becomes a habit, and that just becomes who we are. And as we win and as we become successful, successful things come to us.
It starts with us being successful, and then the money and the abundance will come, not the other way around.
That's it. So keep the score. I'm excited to know who in here, who's going to be the 5% that are going to apply this. Drop a 33 in the chat if you're going to be the 5% that's going to do this. It can be tonight. If you want to take an assessment of the last week, let's act as if today is Sunday. Take an assessment of the previous week just to start a ball. Like Mike said, 5 seconds. How about you do this right after this call is done? Take a few minutes and do it so that you don't forget it, okay? It's going to start a ball for you. So that's what I have. Anything else you'd like to add? Good? All right, amazing. Guys, hope that you took a lot of value from this. I hope that you apply it. We love you. Thank you for joining us. If you are gaining value from this community, there's no fee. There's no financial fee to be a part of us. Please, the only fee is share the community. Share the links, share the calls. If you believe that you are gaining value and there are people around you that could be gaining value as well, share it with them. That will mean the world to us. Thank you so much for joining us. For those of you watching the recording, God bless you, and I'll talk to you soon.